Okay, it's getting late. So we'll start our session. Let's see whether they will join the session while the class is going on, right? Okay. So in the last class, we discussed about the architecture and also different what is called as services that are provided by the GSM layers and GSM services. So global system mobile communication, or global system for mobile communication. So it's a popular mobile communication system that has been introduced for the faster mobile communication and the effective mobile communication. Around 800 million people are being around used around the globe, but from the 190 countries. It is going to be permitting us for the integration of the both voice and the data services, which includes the multimedia services also. So what is this global system for mobile communication, popularly known as GSM? That much of popular, why? Because why it has been become that much of popular, we'll see what are all these things. We have already discussed about the services that are being provided by the GSM, right? So the category of the services that are provided by the GSM mainly are three categories: bearer services, tele and supplementary services, right? Bearer, tele and supplementary services. So if you take a GSM mobile communication where this bearer services and the tele services are keep on, while two communicating points are there in between, or they are communicating. So if the terminal equipment on one side, it is being communicating with another terminal equipment on the other side, then what are all these services are been doing? So how they are been helping? The bearer services and the tele services are the both sides which are been parallelly tracking our communication. So bearer services and the tele services are both sides, or at parallel you are going to serviced by this particular services. That is, both the bearer services and the tele services are helping these two communicating points, or the two mobile communicating points, to go on our transmission, to go on our communication in a smoother or fine manner. So whether there may be a terminal equipment or a mobile station or a mobile terminal equipment, mobile terminal, or a particular receiving terminal or a transceiver terminal or a modem, whatever it is, in between it has to connect it with the what is called as public land mobile network, okay, public land mobile network, and transit network, that is public switching telephone network, through which the connectivity has to transform and it will be connected to the some other destination network where we are been sending our information, with which we are been communicating and whatever it is, right? The terminal equipment will be get connected with the PLMN first, and it will be transiting to the network through which you are being communicating, whether it may be ISDN or PSTN and whatever it is, and reaching the source of the destination, then to the terminal equipment. So for these all services, the bearer services and tele services are serving us. So what are these bearer services? Bearer services are being integrating both what is called as data transmission. That is, it is going to be serving us with the data rates up to 9,600 bits per second for non-voice services. These bearer services are being helpful for the transmission of the non-voice services, and these bearer services permitting another four category of services for us. Basically, we can call them as broadly, we can call categorize into two parts. One is transparent and non-transparent category, and the second one is synchronous and asynchronous data transmissions. So what are these bearer services which are helping for us a non-voice category? Transmitting our data at the what is called as data at the rate of 9,600 bits per second, both in the transparent and non-transparent way, and also synchronous and asynchronous way. Already we discussed that with the transparent communication mechanism, along with the data that you are going to transmitting, you are also inserting a forward error correction bits. Forward error correction bits are going to be inserted into the frame. Okay. And that particular forward error correction bits which are being sent to the receiver, at the receiver side, the receiver is able to identify whether there is any problem in the transmission of the data. So he could identify whether there is any error in the particular receiver data, and he can rectify in the transparent category. And coming to the non-transparent category, we are not going to be sending any specific forward error correction bits, but we are going to use a protocol called as a radio link protocol, with which HTLC will be sent over. HTLC header or HTLC data will be sent. HTLC frame will be sent, through which you are going to using select and rejective mechanism to identify the erroneous or to identify the errors, if any, and the receiver can request the retransmission of that particular erroneous data after identification of the erroneous data. So that is about the transparent and non-transparent communication. So transparent bearer services are using the forward error correction. That is the main feature of this particular transparent bearer error service. And with this, within which you are going to sending through the either user for the Bluetooth and non-Bluetooth devices. Redundant bits will be sent along with this FEC. Okay. And non-transparent is going to be using the radio link protocol, and within which HDLC data is going to be sent, through which the receiver can identify erroneous data, and he can request the corresponding erroneous retransmission of the data using the selective and rejective mechanism. Right, and coming to the synchronous and asynchronous. Already we know about that synchronous transmission of the data is nothing but transferring the data at a fixed time interval or a fixed rate with a constant phase angle differences. That is the synchronous transmission. Asynchronous transmission is without any specific time consideration, setting a specific bandwidth or a data rate, and according to that particular data rate, the transmitter and the receiver are going to be communicating in that particular data rate itself. Right. And here the synchronous and asynchronous data transmissions are going to be using different connectivity networks for themselves without any time consideration or without any specific transparent and non-transparent services. Here they are going to using public switching telephone network and also the integrated service digital network, and they are going to be using particular switching data networks called as public switching called as public subscriber public telephone network, okay, or public digital network. That is called as we are going to use the X.25 networks around the worldwide, and they are also using the full duplex mode of synchronous and asynchronous communications at the rate of different categories. For the synchronous, we are going to have the data rates of 1.2, 2.4, and 4.8, and then 9.6 kilobits per second, whereas it has been varied in only the bits per second for the asynchronous transmission from 300 to 9600 bits per second. That is the data rates that are being allowed by the synchronous and asynchronous data transmissions. Okay. So various networks will be used for transmission of the synchronous and asynchronous that we have to identify. That is a public switching telephone network, integrated service digital network, and a data network or digital network, or packet switching public data networks, whatever it is. Next one is the tele services, which will be exclusively used by the voice communication and the telecommunication, where you are going to use this particular thing, and also you are going to use this PSTN and ISDN networks for this basic data and message services and the voice transmission of this tele services. And these tele services are going to be using special coders and decoders for communicating our device, data, or voice. So digital voice transmission will be done by the coder and decoder devices, which will be held for both analog and data, what is called as digital communication on the other side of the machines. And the services that are exclusively provided by the GSM in accordance with the tele services are the emergency number, which will be the toll free, already we discussed in the previous class, short message service, extended message service, and also the MMS, giving us the facility of sending the text to the receiver, and also enhanced text message service is going to be giving you the another extra service of getting some formatted text and also the transmission of animated pictures to some extent, whereas MMS is going to include you yourself with the short video clips and some what is called a larger pictures that can be sent to the receiver or your friends, right? That is about the tele services. So bearer services are of different category: transparent and non-transparent, synchronous and asynchronous, whereas tele services are with different categories, and supplementary services have been helping both the bearer and the transparent services. So the supplementary services are going to giving you certain functionalities which are aiding both the bearer and the tele services, like call identification, call redirection, forwarding of the calls, identifying the ISDN networks surrounded by your mobile communicating device, and also attention of your chat. That is how you are going to be rating your call, how your tariff rates will be down with, how it can be calculated. And it's going to be projecting to the user of every call or after data usage or message usage or whatever it is. All these things are being the different features of the supplementary services, and it's also providing you the ISTN special features, that is the closer user party and the multi-party communication, where we can provide it with the conference calls or the group calls, right? These are all the different supplementary services that are provided by the GSM. And we, in this particular class, we are going to discussing about the GSM architecture and its different subsystems. So using all these services, that is the transparent and non-transparent services, and also the synchronous and asynchronous services, all the bearer services, and the tele services, and also the supplementary services, how the GSM architecture has been constituted so that it can serve you in these different categories, in these different services. So the GSM architecture is consisting of the three subsystems. Already we discussed in the last class itself. It is consisting of mainly the three subsystems: radio subsystem, network switching subsystem, and operation subsystem. Okay, radio subsystem, network and switching subsystem, and the operation subsystem, right? So this is the total picture of the GSM mobile communication. GSM mobile communication, this is the total picture of the GSM mobile communication, where you are having the radio and switching subsystem, network subsystem, and the operation switching subsystem. And this radio switching subsystem is consisting of a particular area called as BSS, having some radio cells and also having some MS and BTS. And it has been communicating using the BSC with a particular channel here as a medium. And with using this particular BSC, the NSS is going to be communicating as a medium interface using the MSC as its own interface. Okay, BSC is the interface between the RSS and the NSS, whereas MSC is the own interface of the corresponding NSS. Okay, MSC is the own interface of the NSS. And coming to the corresponding OSS. OSS is having its own equipment, to get executed with. All are being getting differentiated and are being bordered with certain specific borders. So until this particular unit, RSS will be considered with its own components. Sorry, and NSS is having its own boundary in between these two lines, A and O. A and O is having NSS components, and between A and the remaining thing is between RSS, and below the O we are having the OSS, operational and network, and the radio station substation, radio system substation, radio and switching substation, networking and switching substation, operating switching substation. These are all the different subsystems, three main subsystems, which are helping the GSM mobile communication for its vast services. That is for the bearer services, that is for the tele services, or for the supplementary services. It is going to give you the many number of features. How it is going to give you? That is global mobile communication, global system for mobile communication globally. At any place, user can move, user can mobilize, user can change over from one network to the another network, one mobile to the another mobile, one station to the another station, one network to the another network, or you're moving from one Wi-Fi to the another Wi-Fi, or one antenna to the another antenna. How these are going to be done, and how the user can be identified, how the authentication user can be identified, unauthorized can be identified, how the calls will be get protected, how the data will be get protected, how the signals will be get directed, and what are all the different functionalities and the services that are provided by these three subsystems in this GSM mobile communication, we will see. So we'll start with the RSS itself. Actually, right. What is this RSS subsystem consists of? I think in the last class you have noted that particular RSS subsystem, totally the GSM architecture, all right? Total three subsystems has been drawn by you. And coming to this radio subsystem, what does radio subsystem consists of? This radio subsystem consists of the different entities like mobile stations, base station, substation, and the connection between this RSS and NSS will be of using the A interface, and the connection to the OSS with the O interface. Already I discussed it with you, right? We'll go back first to the diagram. So what is this radio substation system consisting of? It is consisting of my mobile station, base transition, base transceiver system, and also base station substation. Okay, base station substation, base transceiver system. BTS is the base transceiver system, MS is the mobile station, and BSS is the base station substation, right? So this particular radio switching substation or radio substation consisting of this BSS in many number, and this BSS is consisting of many number of radio cells, comprising of many mobile stations that are being getting communicated, or they are going to be getting connected with a particular station called as base transceiver system. So all these radio cells are going to be get organized into a single subsystem called as base station subsystem. And all these base transceiver systems are going to connect with the base station controller. All these base transceiver systems are being connected to the base transmission controller. See this, all BSC is going to be connected with all the BTS belonging to one BSS. Base system substation is consisting of many group of radio cells. Each is going to be get controlled with the base transceiver system consisting of different groups of mobile stations having an interface of UM. All these combinedly called as a radio cell. A radio cell may be consisting of many number of mobile stations that are being interfaced and communicated with a common station called as base transceiver system. This total equipment is a group will be called as a radio cell. There will be many number of these type of radio cells present in a single BSS, base station substation or base substation. And all these base substation radio cells are connected externally to the base station controller, all externally controlled by the base substation or base station controller. See, these BTSs are all being connected to the BSC. So a single BSS is having one BSC, and another BSC will be having, or BSS will be having another BSC. Each and every base station substation will be having a base station controller. Each BSS will have a single BSC that can be externally communicating with the outsider network, right? Are you able to understand the things? What's happening here? Respond. Hello? Are you able to understand what I am saying about GSM? So please respond. Why? Because it's very important one. You have to understand what's happening in the mobile communication. How the mobiles are going to be getting connected, how they will be getting handovered, how the signals are being get controlled by the different base stations and all these things. Once you can understand this thing, then you are going to be understanding the other concepts easily. Going in deep technically, either with the hardware or with the software. Please respond whether you are been understanding that concept or not. Otherwise, I can't go forward. Is it okay for you? What I am explaining? Please be louder. Are you able to understand this thing or not? If not, please stop me so that I can explain you again. You have to understand what's happening in the mobile communication with this diagram itself. What is there in the radio cells, what is there in the base stations, how the calls will be get connected, how the calls will be distracted, how they will be get authenticated, how the persons will be identified, what are the controls we will have the each and every call, how they will be guided through, how they will be get destined, how you are reaching the destination, how the source will be raising the signal, how you are going to be dialing the number, so how it could reach the corresponding user by overcoming or by crossing through all these components. Until and otherwise, we couldn't understand what's happening in the mobile communication, even though you are fond of using your mobiles. Okay, I'm continuing. It's waste of time. Right. So a radio substation consisting of different BSS that are being connected to the BSC, base station controllers. So there will be different BSS consisting of various radio cells controlled by the base transceiver systems, and all those base transceiver systems are going to be connected to the BSCs, base station controllers, and all those base stations will be within this particular A beam to the A2, and all these different BSS will be there, different levels of BSS will be there, and all these BSS are going to be getting interfaced with the network subsystems. All this particular BSS are being get interfaced with the network subsystem to the MSS. Well, we will see MSS when we are been discussing with the NSS, right? We'll move to the. So the radio subsystem, right? The radio subsystem is consisting of mobile stations, base station subsystems, and these BSSs are going to be consisting of different various cells, and it is going to be connecting with the NSS via the A interface. We see that those are being separated by the solid lines, and NSS has been connected to the OSS, that is operating subsystem, through the O interface, that is with the dashed line that we saw in the diagram. Right, BSS. What this BSS is going to be having? This GSM network is comprising of many bases, that what I have already told you, base station subsystem, which has been controlled by the base station controller. Okay, and BSS performs all the functions necessary for the radio connections. How the radio frequencies are going to be get connected with each other, how the client has been raised or the user has been raised the signal, how the signal has to be connected to the particular destination or the receiver. So how the coding and decoding of the data has to be done, whether the data adaptation rate has been suitable or not, whether it has been done with the wired or a wireless network, all these things will be done. Okay. Beside a BSC, that is the base station controller, it is also been consisting of BTSS, that is the base transceiver system, right? So BSS has been responsible for connecting with the radio signals, coding and decoding of the voice signals, and this BSS will be under the control of the base station controller BSC. Okay, and what this BSC will be doing? The base station controller will be controlling the BSS. So what this is going to do is, it is going to be providing the control functions which are being connecting between the MSC and the BTS. MSC is the mobile station controller. Okay, MSC is the mobile station controller, and BTS is the base transceiver system. It is a high capacity switching procedure. MSC, BSC is the high capacity switching controller, which is going to be handing over the signal or cell configuration and radio frequency levels in the BTSS, that is the base transceiver systems, which are pertaining to each and every radio cell. Each and every radio cell is consisting of a BTS, that is a base transceiver system, and whatever be with the radio signals and configuration of that particular radio signal and the controlling of that particular radio signals and functionality, I mean, there is nothing but adapting or high capacity of that particular radio signals, all are to be get linked up with the MSC. Okay, through the BSC itself, the MSC has to be get connected with. So before reaching to the particular mobile station controller, we have to go through with the base transceiver system. So while connecting with this BTS and the MSC, how they will be get compatible with the corresponding radio signals, all those will be get controlled by the BSC. Why? Because BSC will be get controlling the corresponding BTS, and the BTS is going to be get connected to the MSC. Okay, so there will be a physical contact in between the BSC and BTS, and from there the BSC to the MSC will be get connected, right? So these are the thing. A number of BSCs are served by the MSC. So as BSCs are has to be get communicated with the MSC under a single mobile station controller, there will be many number of base station controllers. Right. Coming to the base transceiver system. Base transceiver station. This BTS is having, I mean, there will be many number of BTSs in a single BSS, base station subsystem, base substation system or base station subsystem, consisting of many number of BTSs, and that particular BTSs are being connected to the BSC, base station controller, and all those BSCs are being connected to the MSC under a single MSC or many number of MSCs. So what this BTS is going to do? So the BTS handles the radio interface to the mobile station. it is going to be creating the radio interface for us to the mobile station with the help of the BSC, and through the BSC to the MSC. So how you are going to connect into the MSC is nothing but through the BSC. So how the BSC will be get connected with the radio interface? It is through the BTS itself. Okay. So what the BTS consisting of actually, why you are saying that it is providing the interface to the corresponding mobile station controller, how that particular mobile station will be get connected to. So it is going to provided with the sectorized antennas or anything that is will be connecting to the mobile station via the UM interface. So whenever you'll see that diagram, go back to the diagram. See here, a BSS is consisting of many number of BTSs for a specific radio cell. A radio cell is consisting of the BTS, base transceiver systems, and a base transceiver system is being a collection of the mobile stations, right? So a radio cell may be consisting of group of mobile stations connected to a base transceiver system, and that particular base transceiver system is connected to the base substation or base station controller, and this particular base station controller is going to be connected to the mobile station controller, so that this mobile station controller is going to connecting you to the another receiver where we have to connect with whom, with which we are being communicating. So that BSC is going to be getting the radio interface from the BTS, and this BTS is getting the signals from the mobile stations through the interface called as UM. Using the interface of UM, the mobile stations are being sending the signals to the sending or receiving the signals from the BTS, base transceiver system. These are the heart through which the mobile stations are being getting the signals to and from. And the persons who are being using the mobile, the persons who are ourselves, we are going to using the mobile computing devices, how you are sending the signals, how you are receiving the signals, all those has to be passed through the base transceiver systems first. From our mobile, it has to reach the first base transceiver system. Then it has to pass to the base station controller. Then it has to reach the mobile station controller. From there onwards, it has to reach the receiver side. On the receiver side also, there will be a MSC again, BSC again, BTS again, and mobile station. From the mobile station itself, then only the receiver has to receive this particular signal on his phone, on his mobile computing device, right? So that is the procedure what happens actually with the radio substation interface, right? So through this interface itself, ourselves are going to be using the mobile computing devices and connecting to the BTS, or giving the signals or sending the signals or getting the signals from the BTS, right? So that particular BTSs are provided with certain radio equipment and antennas and all those things to take an physical interface to give you the information to the network. So the BTS is the radio equipment needed to service each cell in the network. So that each and every radio cell is going to be serving you to connect with the network. That is the radio equipment which is given for each and every cell. That is the BTS, right? So for our wireless transmission, the BTS are very much needed for us. So they are the heart of that particular radio cell to transmit the signals to the mobile stations and the mobile station controller and all those things, from where you are getting the signals also to which you are sending the signals, right? That is the base transceiver system. So right, that is about the corresponding radio subsystem. And if you go back to the NSS, that is the network subsystem. Why? Because the communication is from radio subsystem to the corresponding network subsystem, isn't it? From the radio subsystem, whenever user in a radio cell raises a signal, it will reaches the mobile station first. From there onwards, it will be connected to the base transceiver system. So from the base transceiver system, the signal will be sent to the base station controller. From the base station controller, it will be sent to the mobile station controller through this particular A interfaces. So from the UM interface, the mobile station has been sending the signal to the BTS, and BTS will be controlled by the base station controller, and base station controller will be sending the signal to the MSC through the A interface. So what happens once the signal reaches the MSC, that is a mobile station controller, which is presenting in the NSS. Now we are being in the scene of, or we are in the environment of the NSS, that is a network subsystem. Okay, network switching subsystem. What this will be serving you, what sort of functionalities it is providing for you for your mobile communication, right? So what is this network switching subsystem will be? It is being responsible for performing call processing and subscriber related functions. So how the call will be get connected to the corresponding subscriber, right from the person who has been dialed and for the person who has been received. The person has to raise a call and it is to be received by somebody, isn't it or not? So that for that particular procedure, from the raising of the call to the receiving of the call and until the end of the call, how the call is being processed, and subscriber related function, that is identifying the person, speaking with the persons, processing the voice, processing the messages and all those things. Whatever may be the call that is being raised, they're sending the messages, calling the single user, calling the multiple users, and whatever may be that you are going to do with, that will be done with the network switching subsystem. And it is been consisting of various functional units within it. What are those? We will see. Home location register HLR, visitor location register VLR, authentication center AUC, equipment identity register, and mobile switching center. Okay, mobile switching center. What you are being called as mobile station center? That is nothing but the mobile switching center. So these are all the main functional units of the network switching subsystem. We will see how these 5 components or the 5 functional units are serving us for processing the call and the performing the functions of the subscriber. Right, home location register, visitor location register, authentication register, and equipment identity register. Finally, the mobile switching center. Right. Does we have this or not? Mobile switching center. So that base station controller will be connecting with the mobile switching center here. All the base station controllers, which are from the radio substation, which are from the A interface, connected with this BSCs, all are being connected to the network switching subsystem through the mobile switching centers. These mobile switching centers are the interfaces through which the signals enters into the network through this base station controllers. For the base station controllers, the signals comes from the base transceiver systems. For the base transceiver systems, the signals comes from the mobile stations, right? So we are having the mobile switching centers here, visitor location registers, and authentication centers. We are having authentication centers and home location registers, equipment identity registers, EAR is there, authentication centers are there, and also the corresponding equipment authentication centers and the mobile switching centers, right? All these are been existing. That is what is called as visitor location register, home location register, equipment identity register, authentication center, okay, and mobile switching center. All these are the equipment of the network switching substation. All this will be get connected with either the ISDN networks, PSTN networks, or the PDN networks. Okay, public data networks are the digital networks, international service digital networks, or public switching telephone networks. All are being connected with this network subsystem through which the network will be get distributed, through which the network will be get extended, how the lines will be get distributed among the different subscribers, different network related providers or the network service providers or the customers in turn. So from the network service providers, the corresponding customers will be sharing that particular network lines. So that this particular, what are all these components will do for us? So they are going to be processing our calls and they are going to be performing our subscriber functionalities, right? So coming to this home location register. So what this home location register HLR is going to do? It is going to be used for storing and management of subscriptions. That is, who is going to be raising the call and who is that particular person, okay, and managing that particular person's call and his profile, how he is going to doing the call, whether it is a local call or a international call or non-local call, what is the activity status, whether it is going on or whether it is muted off or whether it is off, what is going on with that particular call, all that particular corresponding information, subscribe information from the home side, the person who has raised the call, who has want to try with connected to the another subscriber, what he is doing with, all this information will be identified by this home location register. It is a database used for storing and managing the subscriptions. That is nothing but subscriber related information will be storing as the service profile of that particular subscriber. What sort of information they are going to be storing as call forwarding information, roaming information, location information, and activity status. All these informations will be stored in the database of HLR. So HLR in the NSS is going to storing you the subscriber information, right? Where he is, to which he is going to be forwarding the call, whether it is a roaming call or not, or what is the location of that particular person, or the activity status, whether the call is on, whether it is been connecting to, whether he is dialing, or whether the call is going on, or whether it is been terminated. All these things are being identified, when it has been started, when it has been ended, how much of time of duration of that particular call, whether it is been run as a live or not. All these things will be identified in the HLR. And coming to the visitor location register. So it is a dynamic real-time database. It's both going to be storing both the temporary and the permanent subscribers, which are required for communication between the coverage of what is called as mobile switching centers and the visitor location register. So why? Because the MSC is not going to be serving continuously only between the BATS, only between single BTS. So it is a base transceiver system or the BSC. Why? Because MSC can be shifted to, that is the mobile switching center can be switching from one mobile network to the another mobile network, and mobile station network to the another mobile station, or one base station to the another base station. It may be varies. Okay, it is going to be varying. It may not be permanently connected to only one set of BSCs or only one set of MSC locations. So that it may be varying in between. So for that case, to have a connectivity or to have a log of temporary and the permanent customers, only for getting the connection in between the VLR and the MSC, and to have the notification between where is the call from to where it has been gone, who has been get connected with. All this information will be identified by the corresponding visitor location register. See, already you know about whenever you'll go to your library, you'll be writing your login register, but it will not be considered as your roll list, or it will not be considered as your attendance. But for their reference, who has been come to the library, who has been staying in the reference section or reading section, who is in the issue section, issue section, and who is in the web browsing section, to have a reference for that, they are maintaining the log. So there is nothing but a visitors register for their reference to identify that who are been continuously coming, who are not, who has been staying, who is been in the reference section, who is in the browsing section, who is in the issue section. For their reference, they are being doing that. In the similar way, this visitor location register is going to be storing both the permanent and temporary subscribers who are making calls, which are being establishing the connection between the mobile switching center and the VLR to connect with the other networks and to connect with the corresponding subscribers or the receivers to which, through which, are with which they are being communicating. So that every time a call has been established, it is to be switched from one network to the another network, and the call has been sent from BSC to the MSC. Every time any signal that has been sent from BSC to the MSC, the VLR, it is going to be noting it. It is going to be logging the data, or it is getting the backing up of the data, whether you are getting the information of that particular person locally or non-locally, right? That is the VLR. Next one is authentication center. Obviously, it will be giving you the authentication of the corresponding subscriber after entering into that corresponding location or the MSC or BSC area. Somebody has raised the hand. Okay, again down. So this particular unit, authentication center, is going to be authenticating and encrypting the parameters that who is going to be identifying and checking the users and ensuring the confidentiality and security of the each and every call. So this is going to the one which is going to securing your call and encrypting your information while call is going on, and your voice and whatever the information that you are being talking or you are going to be doing on your call. Right. This is the authentication center from the NSS. Right. And equipment identity register. What is this? What is this? Equipment identity? Identity register is nothing but it is going to identify. It is a database containing the information about mobile equipment that is going to preventing the calls from stolen, unauthorized, or defective mobile stations. Right. For example, if the call has been crossed, if the call has been accidentally connected to any other, or if it is a call of spam, or if it is call not, it's been blocked by us. Okay, So that is going to be identified. What is, whether it is being sent to that particular proper mobile or not, whether it is to be forwarded to the proper mobile or not, or if the call has been wrongly routed or it has been wrongly subscribed, what happened, whether the call has been counterfeited, or if it is been eavesdropped, if it has been tapped, whether your call has been tapped or not, whether it is the proper call from the proper user or authorized user or not. Otherwise, if the station is being defective, or if the station is unable to subscribe your call from the actual sender to the actual receiver, obviously you'll be getting the wrong call, right? Even you are going to dialing the correct number, you will be getting a subscriber of a wrong person. So in that way, it is going to be identifying your faulty or what is called as repair or whatever the thing, equipment identity, whether you are being done properly or not. For example, if many cases or cyber crime cases or cyber cases are going on, or the mobile fraud cases are going on, how this particular things are being identified by taking their log or by taking this particular information like equipment identity register, authentication centers, and all those things. By tracking all those things, track back. Okay, by tracing back all this information from this EIR and the authentication center and all those things, you can identify that where the call has been raised, whether the person has been originally raised the call or it has been done or pruned by some other person as a culprit. Okay, so this is the one which is another component of the NSS. And the mobile switching center. So what this is going to be done? This is the main component from where the BSC is going to be connected, right? The base station controller is going to be connected with the mobile switching center. So from the mobile switching center itself, the call enters into the NSS, network switching subsystem. There onwards, the VLR is going to noting your information, HLR is going to noting in your information, authentication center is there, and EAR is there. All are going to storing your information. So what this MSC is going to do is telephone switching functions. That is nothing but how the switching of the call has to be done from one subscriber to the another subscriber, how it has to be get connected with, how the subscribers has to get connected with, if it is between only one person and another person, only between the two parties, or it is to be between the many number of communicating points. So how this particular switching functionalities has to be performed by the MSC, it will be done by them. So that what are all the other functions, what is the main functionality that can be identified for this MSC for its telephony functionalities are nothing but processing of the signal from the BSC, entering into the NSS, and next one is controlling calls and 2 are from the telephone and the data systems. So that taking the phone from the, taking the call from the telephone and maintaining the data values in the HLR, VLR and all those things and controlling them. Call changing, if any call has to be changed from one subscriber to the another subscriber, and connecting with the many points as already I discussed with you, and doing with any supplementary services if needed. That is nothing but doing with the trolling services, free of charge services, and giving you the tariff rates and all those things, and establishing and terminating the connection between master station and the fixed line phone via GMSC or Global Mobile Switching Center. Global Mobile Switching Center. That is nothing but whether you have to establish the connection or terminate the connection. If you want to do the one-way calling or multi-way calling, if you do need any supplementary services like your billing or your tariff, or you are going to forwarding a call to anybody or blocking a call, or if you want to store the log or database, or if any faulty calls are there, if you have to identify or trace back to that particular system, or how your crossing of the signal has to be get encrypted, how it is to be secured, all these things will be get in control of mobile switching center. That is nothing but after taking the signal from the BSC, base station controller, from the BTS, it will be get received by the mobile switching center first. So after receiving it, all are going to noted with, that is HLR, EIR and VLR and AUCR are going to be noted. All those functionalities will be get controlled, will be get operated by the mobile switching center, and your call will be mainly processed and will be get connected to the other receivers, and your other subscribers on the other side will be only under the control of the mobile switching center, that is the NSS subsystem. Right. RSS we discussed, consisting of the mobile stations, base station subsystem and BSS and all those things, from where our signal has been processed back to the NSS, where it is been receiving through the MSC, and there you are going to receiving the information through the EIRs, authentication center, visitor location register, home location register and all those things. So we have been completed with the NSSs also. Okay, VLR is there, HLR is there, and authentication center is there, and equipment identity register. So from there onward, the signal will be, or the NSS and also RSS are all going to be supported by the OMC. See here, the direction of the control is from the OMC to both the sections. That is for the RSS and also for the NSS. Whereas RSS and NSS are going to be individually working with each other. RSS is doing its radio interfacing section, and NSS is going to doing the network interfacing section. Both are communicating with each other, but they're having their own functionality. Whereas these two functionalities, that is both the radio interfacing and the network interfacing, has to be get controlled by the OSS itself, that is operating substation. Okay, so already we ran out time. So we'll discuss the OSS in the next class, or we'll complete. Okay, with the OSS I'll complete. Just 2 minutes time. Right. So operation service subsystem OSS. This facilitates the operation of the mobile station controller, mobile switching center. So how the MSC is going to be getting operated and how the BSS are going to be getting operated, all are going to be get function and controlled by the OSS itself, operation service subsystem. It also handles the operation and maintenance of the entire network. It is going to be taking care of OMC, that is operation and maintenance control. OMC is the operation and maintenance control of the total network. It will be under the control of the OSS itself. So as similar to the operating system is the heart of the computer system, here the OSS is the main controller of the total entire network. And that OMC is going to be doing what? That operation and maintenance center, it is going to be controlling the total network through O interface. Already we saw. It's also going to be taking care of management of status reports, traffic monitoring, subscriber security management, accounting and billing. It is also going to taking a network overview and to monitorize and troubleshoot if any there the GSM network. So connecting with the calls, taking the information from the radio cells and identifying the subscriber security management, giving the status reports, traffic management from the network, allowing the troubleshooting. Everything will be going through and monitored through and identified through the operation and maintenance center. So without this particular operation and maintenance center, either the NSS or the BSS couldn't be, RSS couldn't be operated. So everything will be possible only through this particular operation and maintenance center, right? So mobile station is already, you know about that. The mobile station consists of a mobile equipment through which you are going to communicating, and a smart card will be given for us. Mobile station is nothing but our mobile, which is consisting of a mobile equipment. We know that, which is presenting in the RSS. Okay, in the diagram we can identify MSS in the each and every radio cell of the RSS. Okay, and that particular mobile station has been given a smart card called a subscriber identity module, SIM. That is the full form of the SIM, subscriber identity module. So this is going to be giving you the personal mobility, personal identification, and subscribed services irrespective of the specific terminal, so that user can move anywhere. His identification will be remain same using this particular SIM. Okay, and the mobile equipment is uniquely identified. I already know about this. That is the other than the SIM is going to be having a unique identification called as International Mobile Equipment Identity, IMEI. It is going to be having the unique identity called as International Mobile Equipment Identity, IMEI, and it is also having some other identification called as International Mobile Subscriber Identity, IMSI, which is going to be used to identify the subscriber to the system. A secret key will be there for authentication and other information also. So both are different, both are independent. IME is for one purpose and IMSI is for another purpose. IMEI is the International Mobile Equipment Identity. We can track that particular SIM. IMSI is for securing the information of the subscriber, right? Both are of different. That is for tracing the device, and this is for information authentication, right? There will be a identifying the subscriber to the system and a secret key for authentication. Okay, there will be different, both are of different, and we'll see through the radio interface again. Okay, in the next class we will see radio interface and how this particular GSM is going to be transmitting the frames, how it is going to be transmitting with the protocols with the help of everything. So please go through these topics. It will be very tedious for us. Whenever you couldn't refer continuously, regularly, please refer this particular topics. Until and otherwise, if you couldn't understand the first unit completely and clearly, you won't able to follow the other units. That's why I'm stretching more on this particular unit. From the second unit onwards, we will be running seriously, right? So please go through the topics regularly. Until and otherwise you couldn't understand the next topics that I'm covering. Okay, obviously it will take 3 to 4 classes again for completing the first unit. Please be concentrate. I'm giving more number of classes for the first unit, and from the second unit it will be very shorter. I'll be running through. So please refer the topics completely and keenly. If there are any doubts regarding understanding of the concept, or if there is any confusion in knowing about the concept, please feel free to call me and raise in between while the class is going on itself. There itself, I will be clearing you. Okay. Otherwise, if you can't open up in the class while the class is going on, please contact me personally. Okay, I will be clearing your concept. Why? Because it's very practical one. Even though you are been using the equipment directly in the real time, we are not known about the technical concepts behind it. It will be very easy. It doesn't need about very fundamentals in beneath just to know about technically what it is happening, right? So please go through that. It will be interesting. It couldn't be any boring one. Just if you identify what is going to be happening technically, it will be easy for you to learn all the topics. Okay. Time is over. I'll be leaving the session. Thank you.